Welcome to this meeting of the North Sydney Local Planning Panel. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, the Camaragal, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. The meeting today is to consider the determination of a new dwelling and associated works at 37 Bayview Street, Lavender Bay. The matter was deferred at the public panel meeting in April, and so we're reconvening to make a final determination based on amended plans. The panel members for today are myself, Helen Lockett as chair, Jean Morel and Michael Raymond, who's in the room at council as expert members, and Carla Castellanos, the community representative, who's online. Does any member of the panel have a declaration of interest to make on the today before we begin?
No.
No, I don't, and I don't either. So thank you, panel. The panel has been provided with an updated assessment report, and we've been briefed on the issues and the applications raised, and we've read all the submissions that have been provided previously to. The meeting is being held by teleconference, and I'm requesting that everyone is respectful of another's speaking and remain on mute. I will first hear from members of the public who registered to speak, and then we'll hear from the applicant or the applicant's representative, who may respond to any issues raised and make any other comments that they wish to make to the panel. And the panel may ask questions for clarification, but normally we'll just listen and note what is said. Our usual practice is to allow each speaker 5 minutes to make their points. And we ask that you stick to the point and don't reiterate what's already been said, but just to be very focused in the comments so we can get to the nub of the issues. After hearing from all of you, we'll adjourn and confer and make our determination, and the determination will be available on the council's website within 7 days from this meeting. The meeting is being recorded, but there is to be no other recording or filming of the meeting, and any such recording you'd have to have had prior permission. So thank you, everybody, and we'll get started. I can see that we've got Norman Blumenthal online. So Norman, do you want to start by addressing the panel?
Thank you very much for allowing me to make a few comments on the amended submission. The part that I have been interested in is the northern aspect of the east-facing balcony. I note that alterations have been made in decreasing the awning size and the insertion of vertical louvers. Because I am I should have introduced myself as being the neighbour on the northern side of this development.
Number 39? 39,
correct. Mm-hmm. So, however, it seems as though no formal assessment in accordance with Section 415 of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act has been undertaken to determine the impact of these changes on the views from our lounge, where we spend a lot of our time. Due process of these changes has not been undertaken. So we therefore humbly request to defer a decision on the DA until an assessment of what effect these changes will have on our living areas, and particularly the lounge area. Thank you very much.
Panel, if you have any questions for Mr. Blumenthal, I've just got one question just to start off. I thought, from my recollection, Mr. Blumenthal, when you presented to the panel in April, you were most concerned about having your oblique view blocked rather than seeking, you were worried about privacy more than having a view blocked. So I'm a little...
And I think there were two issues we had at that time. The first issue was a view, and the second issue was privacy in the bedroom area, which was lower down. So there were two separate issues. One was the view from our living area, and the second issue was a bedroom issue on the lower level.
Okay. Okay. Panel, do you have any other questions for Mr. Blumenthal? Yes. Go ahead, Carl.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Blumenthal, I recall during your presentation that you presented some visualizations estimating the level of impact, where some of the visualizations show the awning projecting into the view of the Harbour Bridge. And I recall that that was one of the areas of concern. Is that correct?
Correct.
And having the awning been retracted to, I believe, quite a significant distance from the wall, does that alleviate that part of your concerns?
Well, that's what I was mentioning in my introduction, is that we haven't had opportunity to assess that impact. And that's what I was asking for, is to defer such a decision until we can get visual assessment of the improvement or otherwise of that impact.
Mr. Blumenthal, thank you very much. Those were all my questions.
Thank you.
Chair, I just have one comment, and that is when we go to the architect, we might be able to share, he might be able to share the screen in terms of the area of concern, and then we can have a look at it there as well. Thank you.
Yep. And I thank you, Ms. Blumenthal. We had one other submitter registered, and they were going to be calling in from overseas. So have they joined the meeting yet? No, they haven't. Okay.
And what about the other person from that family? I think they were going to be calling in from
Karen, here. Is that your wife, Mr. Blumenthal? Is she going to join the meeting or not?
No, she hadn't. I was working, and if I couldn't make it, she was going to talk on my.
Okay, great. All right. Well, perhaps if I mean, Lauren may not actually be able to join us. Is there any way of emailing and seeing whether she's going to be joining the meeting?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
That's what it's going to be.
Perhaps while we're waiting, Stephen, perhaps you might like to address the concerns of Mr. Blumenthal, and maybe the screen to explain how you believe you can address those concerns.
Yes, I'm trying to find that document because I didn't think that the views were going to come up again, because they had been, visited numerous times in the last submissions. So, I mean, as Jan mentioned, it might have been Ms. Castell, that the awning has been pulled back significantly. So sort of simple logic would say that the impact of that awning into the view would have been substantially reduced, bearing in mind that is an oblique view, not out the side window, not out the front window. In terms of the impact of the privacy screen, obviously there's some impact of the privacy screen, and sorry, I'm just looking for those things at the same time. Yeah, we weren't requested, we were just, from the last meeting, the instructions were to make the changes instructed by the panel and resubmit the application for electronic approval. So that's what was done.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see.
Perhaps Stephen, you could, I don't know whether Niall might be able to pull it up on the screen. I know that you're overseas, Stephen. When you said
yeah, I'm just finding it, just a sec.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm just trying to find those drawings, relevant drawings from the previous.
Yeah, I've got it. I've just got to get it to that. Just give me a moment to that computer. It's just a different computer. Sorry, just give me a moment.
Yep.
This is going to be easier. Sorry, I'm just trying.
Thank you, sir. Brain comes to where just there. And so if that hand is feeling like blocked by this. Oh, right, yeah. This angle there is the. Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, I'm just.
just a little. Is this the next straight here? Oh, it'd be blocked out anyway. What's that along there? It's just a nib, a blade.
It's not opening this.
Did you manage to find it on that screen permanent?
No.
Yes. Yeah.
What's going on here?
What
Could be
are the
reduced.
drawings that you're trying to find, Stephen? Maybe I can share what I've got. The only drawings I've got is the revised architectural.
It's the view studies.
Oh no, I don't have that.
I'll just give me 1 second.
Could be reduced to there.
Wait.
I don't think it's for the angle. It's this window here, isn't it? I think that's what he's talking about there.
Okay. I've got it. I just need to share the screen now.
He was sitting sort of in there.
I'm going to share my screen if that's all right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'll just scroll through this view impact. Sorry. Come on.
Up being there, that's the trouble. We never had a site meeting.
Yeah, that knowing those sites, you've got the view across the hub, you've got the view, and that's a complying element. So
Yeah.
with the height, so it's not really going
So
Sorry, Stephen.
building lines.
this is from the balcony. Can you guys see this? So this is from the balcony. So this is, before the awning's been pulled back.
Yeah.
And then this was from the living room. So you can see in blue on the bottom image is the way the awning was.
Previous version, yeah.
So that's been, pulled back probably to about where my the mouse is going up and down there. So
Yeah.
it's not the view of the bridge. It's the more towards Barangaroo part of the view.
Mm-hmm. And the vertical overlay, is that representing the blinds in the neighbour's property?
So the neighbour has fixed louvered blades on the exterior of the window, on that side window, to angled 45 or whatever they were. That must, I assume was a condition of their consent at the time to prevent them looking into number 37.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, has the other submitter turned up at the meeting yet or not?
No.
Okay, so shall we assume that they're a no-show at this point?
Yes, I think we'll have to, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, thanks, Stephen, for that. One query that we had, and thank you for the amended plans and for your thoroughness in addressing the panel's concerns. One query that we did have, which we'd love your response to, was the amount of the removal of glazing. So I was looking at the wording of what we had written in the determination, or the deferment, I should say, and there was obviously a desire to increase the amount of solid to void, and particularly at the base of the building, and it can be lighter coming up, not necessarily to make it a less than contemporary expression. And we thought there was a thought that in fact you probably overachieved in that department, and was that in response to reading the DCP very diligently, or was that a desire to actually provide more privacy for those bedroom spaces?
So sorry, should I respond? Is that
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that was purely a response to how the minutes were worded, because in the previous recommendation from the council officer there was no reference to that particular clause in the DCP, but then in the panel determination there was that reference to that clause, and that clause, which is usually not applied to this type of building, we've never been reference to that, requires that if you take any vertical or horizontal line through any point of the facade, you can't pass through more than 50% of glass or opening. So you'll end up with that weird looking building, which makes
Okay. So
logic.
we probably weren't thinking of the consequences until
So our clients were rather unhappy with that outcome, but
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess one suggestion that we would make was that on the top level, that the glazing went to align with the, if you go to drawing page 13 in the package, which is in our panel package, in attachment 3. Have you got those drawings? Oh, actually, I could share my screen. Would that be easier? Okay.
Yes, I can share again.
Okay.
Would you like me to, or are you going to?
No, I think, can you see it?
Yes.
I've just got 2 screens, so I'm not looking at you anymore because I'm looking at my own screen.
I can see, you can see that.
So the suggestion was that you've got windows here, and that perhaps you might prefer to align those windows across the width of that room, leaving some at the end like you have on the lower level, while still maintaining the balustrated masonry, or whatever it is. I don't know what it is actually. Paneling.
It's a spandrel.
It's a spandrel, yeah. Below it. And the reason we requested that was because there was a desire not to have it as a habitable roof, but it was just a green roof, and so to deter inappropriate use of that terrace. So that was one suggestion, and the other suggestion was the second level bedrooms, whether those windows wanted to go to be enlarged as well.
I'm sure clients would be more than happy if you'd if you did wish to condition the consent that the windows on the second floor and the fourth floor should be widened, you know, to match the ones on the third level, being the living room, they'd be very pleased with the condition like that. We'd prefer if it could be conditioned rather than us having to go.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it's 3 months each time we have.
Yeah, no, that's what I was, I was conscious of that. So we don't want to hold you up, but we just thought maybe that would be something that was considered desirable on the part of your client without actually and improve the amenity for your client without necessarily impacting negatively on the impact of anybody else in the neighbourhood. So yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
right.
that.
We'll just take that on board.
Oh, Helen, sorry. Just can you leave it there for a moment? Sorry.
Yeah,
just
sure.
so that we fully understand Norman's concern, and at what level is he talking about in terms of number 39 there?
The top level.
The
So
top level.
This level here.
Yeah.
That level there. Okay. And then it's the view from that window, you say, through to the Harbour Bridge?
Not that window, the side window. So the window on this side
window,
the side boundary window, not the waterfront window.
Right, the south, right, and
One blades over it. Yeah.
okay, and Mr. Norman, you're still there? Oh, Mr. Norman gone?
No, he is. No, he's here. He's just on mute.
All right, okay.
Mr. Blumenthal, do you want to just clarify? This is the window you're talking about, the one where I got my cursor on the screen. Can you see that?
Yes, it's that side window, correct?
Yes,
but,
this one, yeah.
With the view to the southern pylon of the bridge from that side window, correct?
So looking this way.
That's right.
And Stephen, if I can just ask you, that's where you say that it's been significantly or pulled back there?
Yes. The awning's gone from being the full extent of the balcony to now it's only a 1 metre awning. You know, which one would, you know, one needs at least that to provide some level of protection to the balcony. You know, to be able to get shading. It's the east facade.
Yeah.
You know, one needs.
And just general weather protection for that matter.
Yeah.
And sorry, and just to keep bearing in mind that, you know, these properties have their view is on this east elevation, and you know, views out of side windows are secondary. And for instance, we don't have any side windows because we need to respect the privacy
of others.
So, you know, so we've, you know, intentionally, in fact, we've got solid blades of wall coming past the windows to maintain the privacy. So, you know, for our building to have to be impacted even more to maintain, you know, a view out of a side window. So you can see there, the window.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and you can see the awning, you know, it aligns with those
There's no
blades.
talking about this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why they need it, actually.
I don't think they need the
Okay, rather than talking in the background, we don't.
Could you please
we need to
on mute?
Yep.
You're not speaking. If everyone can just go on mute. Thank you.
Right, yeah. Now that then does allow us all to fully understand what Mr. Blumenthal was concerned about. Okay, thank you.
Okay, shall I stop sharing now? Is everyone okay with that? Okay.
Yes, thank you, Helen.
All right. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. I
did have just one last question for the architect, and that is back on that elevation. You had a notation on the level 1.
Yeah. Maybe I should just pull it up and just so it's quite clear. But I do think, though, if he's going to pull the windows across for the full elevation, that
will probably fix it. But it was just so that I can truly understand whether that was what was intended, and it wasn't a solid fixed panel.
Yeah. I'll just share the screen. So look, but I think it just goes away. But I'll just just for your benefit. Here you can see. Hold on. I'll just I can't see where my cursor is now. But,
Thank you. So
here it is. Yeah, see here, you've got a sliding symbol on that panel, but I think it's a fixed panel that
you're on mute.
oh, am I on mute?
No, he is.
Stephen.
He's trying to
Okay.
answer.
Sorry, that's those little arrowy things.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
arrow,
so-
we amended the drawing quickly and we didn't take out the arrow for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
that's
window.
what I-
Now,
So
it will
sorry,
become
let's go.
now it will become glazing. So therefore,
Yeah, so that all becomes glazing there. So that issue just goes away.
That's right. So if the panel is glazing, it will then continue to be a sliding panel, not a fixed panel. Is that correct?
So of that window, yeah, part will, half will be sliding, half will be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a traditional sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Alrighty. Thank you very much. I think we've
Just one further question.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes,
Helen. It was just in respect of you wouldn't have any objection to an additional condition requiring a surveyor to certify at various points in the construction, Stephen.
I think that's one of your
Already in there?
standard conditions. I'm pretty sure it's in there.
Right. Okay.
You might
Yep.
want to answer that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
It's a standard condition. Yep.
Definitely in the conditions, it's condition E9.
Thank you very much.
all right, but we don't need to add that.
Mhm.
We don't need to add that condition because it's already covered.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okie doke. I think we have all that we need. So thank you, Mr. Blumenthal, and thank you, Stephen, and for attending the meeting today. We'll just withdraw, or you'll withdraw, and we'll consider this and make a determination as quickly as possible. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.